So on here, what we've found is, not every team, no matter how big the marketing team is, has in-house SEO. But that doesn't mean they can't consider SEO during their development. We like to use the hierarchy of SEO needs here. There's basically 7 subcategories. And it goes from, like, the bottom is your foundation. You want to have that in a strong spot, and it goes up from there. And what we've found is that a lot of internal teams can own aspects of this. It is always helpful to have somebody in a leadership role with SEO, because a lot of SEO is just making sure all the pieces are working together and not overlapping each other, and best practices are followed. So the first level here, the crawl accessibility. So engines can reach and index your content. A lot of this gets lumped into that classical technical SEO. And if you were at the last SEO brunch, we had a brilliant technical SEO, Jason Logan, join us, who just really owns this space. And he comes from a web development background. What I've found, especially when we're working in agency spaces, is a lot of this work is just generally good practices. And most web developers, if they're not aware of it, should be aware of it. So a lot of that aspect can be handled by like when I work with bigger companies, they usually have a marketing engineer, or say they have a third-party web development team. They should own this aspect, but they might need some initial direction. So you can use tools like Ahrefs site audit to get an idea of how things are functioning. If you want to really get in there, you can look at stuff like Deep Crawl, SEMrush. Most of the main tools have some sort of site audit tool in there. You can also look in Search Console just to see, are there any issues with indexing the site? And if there are, this is a really strong piece that the technical team can own. Now, compelling content, this comes down to your writers and your PR team. Your PR team is probably going to be pushing a lot more stuff to get your brand awareness up there, whereas the content team is developing concepts or developing content around, like, the peripheral subject matter around what kind of questions people are asking about your main product or service offering. So your content team, your writers, they're really the ones that can own this piece of it, the compelling content. Now, does it answer the searcher's queries? And they need to understand things like keyword research. What is already performing? Like, let's look in Search Console and see what's turning into traffic, and then also look into analytics to find out if that traffic's converting. But a lot of that can be handled by that content team. Any questions about this so far? Keyword optimization, this is, again, can be handled by the content team. Now, sometimes writers don't want to do so much of the optimization, so you could have a dedicated person on that content team that maybe doesn't have all the writing chops, but understands all the guts of how things works, who can optimize that content when it's ready to be published. Things like including unordered or ordered lists at the beginning of the content so the user can jump through, but you also have the potential of getting the mini site links, making sure the title and description are compelling and have keywords in them. That kind of work can be done by somebody on the content team, or somebody who's just very content minded, but understands other aspects of how the site performs. And then at that point, you probably there might be aspects of it like, we don't understand, we keep changing the title, but it doesn't change. These are the kind of things you want to bring back to your developer to figure out what's going on. Now, great user experience, that kind of gets owned by a lot of different people. If you have an in-house UX team, that's great. They're the people that own this piece. But there's going to be a lot of pieces that are involved in this. There's going to be the content people. There's going to be the designers. There's going to be the developers, because somebody has to implement this when it's ready to go. But that user experience, a great user experience, is kind of owned by all teams, but I would say spearheaded by the user experience UX teams. Share-worthy content that earns links, citations, and amplifications. So this is their backlink builders. This can be really facilitated well by people that do social media and community management. The people are paying attention to Reddit or any of these other forum type channels where people are mentioning your brand. You can use tools like If This Then That. If you haven't played with that, I highly recommend it, where you can set up these listeners that listen on Reddit for every time somebody mentions your product or your brand or even your service offering. If you might get a little bit bombarded with notifications if your service offering is, say, something like web design, because it's probably mentioned a few times on Reddit every second. But if you want to get a little bit more niche, you can really dig into that. Title, URL, and description to draw higher click-through rates. This falls again back to that person that's on the content team, but understands kind of more of the guts of how things are presented. somebody that can go back and look, because we do a lot of work when we're not just, it's great to come up with new content, but a lot of time people have content existing that's just sitting on the cusp of things. So striking distance is a term we use a lot, which basically means anything below like mid first page to second page in the search results. And what's cool about that is that means like all the signals are there for Google. It's just not in a place where it converts yet. So if you can draw the eye, if you can change the title to be a little bit more keyword focused and a little bit more compelling and draw people to click through, with time, you'll start creeping up in the search results. And that snippet schema markup to stand out in SERP, that's another technical task. But that, again, I would say you talk to your web developers, your marketing engineers to get a system in place or to vet a solution to put it in there. And then that same person that is managing the posting and the refinement of content can go through and test to see if this type of content is performing for them. So that's kind of how we like to structure our work with other teams, because a lot of these people aren't dealing with, or a lot of these companies aren't dealing with in-house SEO, but they understand the importance of it, and they have a lot of these resources, these people running point on these various tasks, and they just with a little bit of direction, they can really own these aspects of it.